All right, we are live. So hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about the academic programs being offered through the Extended Education Division at the University of Manitoba. For those who don't know me, my name is Daniel Pembert. I'm the founder and CEO of Great Start Canada, and I'm also a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. As a licensed consultant in education and immigration, I can help you to achieve your goals of studying or immigrating to Canada. We are based in Winnipeg, and we're proud to serve clients who are already living here in Winnipeg, as well as clients from over 50 countries. So we are an agency who's been around for a few years, and we do have agreements with most institutions all across Canada. So one of them is the University of Manitoba, of course, which is our guest today. So before we begin the presentation, it would be great if you can please share with us where you're connecting from, whether you're in Winnipeg already, or maybe you're still in your home country, I don't know, Mexico, Colombia, Peru. So this way we'll have a better idea. Melissa and I will know exactly where you're connecting from. And then also, while you do that, I'm going to go over some housekeeping items. So Melissa has put together a presentation for us today, and all your questions will be answered at the end. Okay, so hold on to your questions. Now, since the webinar is also being presented in English, you're welcome to ask your question in English if you're comfortable, or if you prefer, you can also ask your question in Spanish, and I will serve as your translator, so I'll translate it for you. Then at the end, we'll also have a special offer for you, so it's very important for you to stay until the end of the presentation. So having said this, I'm very happy to present to you Melissa Campbell. Melissa is the International Recruitment and Admissions Manager at the U of M. And without further ado, please help me welcome Melissa.
Hi, everybody.
There you go.
It's nice to meet you. I'm having some trouble with my connection. So if my video goes off, hopefully you can still hear me. If not, all the information that I talk about during this presentation will be available to you after. So I'm going to go through a slideshow presentation on extended education. So as Daniel mentioned, my name is Melissa Campbell. I'm the Recruitment and Admissions Manager for Extended Education. We're located in Winnipeg, Canada. So we're right in the center of the country. So why study in Canada? Students choose Canada because of its stability, progressiveness, and inclusiveness. So,
Hi, Melissa. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
If you can please click on your, if you go to slides and just click on start presentation, because we're not seeing anything.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it now. Perfect.
Thank you. Okay.
No problem.
So people choose Canada because of the high quality of education and the affordable tuition expenses. And many Colombians are currently studying in Winnipeg. Colombia is our third biggest market at extended education. So we have many students from Colombia studying here. We also have students from Peru, from Mexico, and from all over other continents as well. So where is Winnipeg, Canada? We're located at the geographical center of the country. So we're about a 24-hour drive from Vancouver and a 24-hour drive from Toronto. Like I said, directly in the center of the country. Some interesting facts about Winnipeg. So you may have heard of Winnipeg before. You may have friends or family studying here, and you may have never heard of Winnipeg. It's very culturally diverse. So we have more than 100 nationalities represented. Our population is just under 800,000, which is a medium-sized Canadian city. Our average summer temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. So right now it's very warm. And our average winter temperature is minus 15. So we have 4 distinct seasons. It gets quite cold in the winter, but then we make up for it in the summer with some very warm weather. We have 318 days of sunshine per year. So even when it's very cold outside, it's usually not clouded over. Winnipeg is known as a very affordable city to live in. So out of the major cities in Canada, Winnipeg has one of the lowest unemployment rates, is what has one of the most affordable housing rates. So yeah, we have had a 5% unemployment rate for many years. So plenty of opportunities to not just find a job, but to find a good job that you really love. Our minimum wage is $11.65 per hour. So that's the very minimum that an employer can pay you. Most of our students and of course our alumni make more a higher wage than that. The key industries in Winnipeg, so aerospace, we have a big Boeing factory, transportation and distribution, energy, we rely on hydroelectric energy, and they're one of our biggest job providers in the province. Agribusiness, so being a prairie province, we have a lot of jobs in agriculture and agribusiness, life sciences, education, of course, IT, advanced manufacturing, and some tourism opportunities as well. So the University of Manitoba, it's a very old traditional university. So it was founded in 1877, which is quite old by Canadian standards. It's Western Canada's first university. We now have over 30,000 students studying on 2 campuses, 17% international. I think that went up this year to actually 20% international, studying in 24 faculties. So anything you can think of from arts, science, engineering, medicine, fine arts, music, absolutely everything is available at the university. It's a big research facility. We have 110 student groups on campus, so there's always many ways to get involved when you're studying with us. The programs that I represent are under an area called extended education. So we offer applied professional programming. So this is a pathway program ideally suited for internationally educated professionals who are looking to make business their career choice in Canada. So there's 3 components to this program. So you're going to be studying with us over the course of 1 year. So there's 3 start dates per year. So you would choose to begin in September, in January, or in May. And then your program would wrap up the following year at that time. So the very first component of the program is the academic part. So this is the certificate in either business analysis, business management, or human resource management. So you select which program fits your career path. And this is the courses that help build your competency framework. And all 3 programs give you the opportunity for a professional designation when you're done. So these are some courses that you would study with the Applied Business Analysis program. This is the most technical program we offer. We see many students who previously studied engineering or information technology that are interested in business analytics. These are the courses that you would study with Applied Business Management. So this is our most general program. We see a lot of students enter this program when they're looking to have multiple options when they graduate. So they're not sure, which area they want to specialize in, or perhaps they want to be an entrepreneur. This program is more general than the other 2 we offer. And the third one is Applied Human Resource Management. So human resource management is it's a huge industry in Canada. Most of our big companies here, they don't just have a human resource manager, they have a human resource department. So lots of jobs available in this. If you have a background in education or you have a background in law, this is, or arts even, this is a good program for you. So the second component of the program, so throughout your year with us, you'll complete the certificate, and then you'll also be doing a letter of accomplishment. It's called an LOA in universities, and it's an official university parchment that you get on career preparation. So this is a career preparation workshop series where you're going to learn about Canadian workplace best practices, intercultural communication, personal branding. You'll work one-on-one with our team to learn what companies look for when hiring and how to interact with the global community. And also included in the program is the career preparation. This is the workshop series here. So the Canadian workplace, powerful business writing, networking. So working on developing your soft skills. program is the work placement. So this is a company to do a 175-hour unpaid internship. So this allows you mentorship opportunities. Your placement is determined by your professional. If you've always dreamed of working for a really big corporation with lots of opportunities to move around, we can place you in somewhere like that. And if you wanted to work for a nonprofit, there's opportunities to do that as well. While doing that, you can learn to adapt to workplace expectations, routines, and cultural differences. And lastly, included in all our programs is something called language support. And it's more like business language support. It's just a resource that's available to you, and it enables you to interact with a team of professionals on developing your business language vocabulary. So you're going to be working mostly on resume and interview skills. So that's available if you want to. So many students use that when they're applying for jobs. Working in Canada. So of course, Daniel can answer any of your questions related to study permits, postgraduate work permit, but I'll go over really quickly for you. Students with a valid study permit are able to work up to 20 hours a week while in class and 40 hours a week while on break. There's different rules right now with everything going on. A lot of the students are able to work 40 hours a week. Program meets the requirement for the post-graduation work permit. So if your ultimate goal is to stay living and working in Canada, the program meets the requirements for you to apply to that program. Or a 2-year diploma. So it's completion of a program that is longer than 2 years. So if you did 2 years of a degree, but you didn't finish the degree, then technically you're not eligible for the program. So it has to be completion of a degree or diploma that's more than 2 years. Language proficiency, a minimum of 6.5 academic Ielts. We're currently accepting the Duolingo test for students who are unable to write the Ielts. Work experience. Most of our students have more than 1 year work experience. We require a minimum of 6 months. But like I said, most of our students, like the average age of our students are 30, 32, and they've worked for at least 5 years. But if you've worked for 6 months, you still meet the requirements of the program. For students who have not written an English placement test, so if you haven't written the IELTS and you're not sure that you would score a 6.5, or maybe you have written it and you've scored a 5.5 or a 6, we have an English pathway program offered through our English Language Center at the university. So you study English for 15 weeks prior to the start date with extended education, and you will receive conditional admission. So there's a separate fee associated, and it's a little bit longer in duration. So you'll have to do the 15 weeks of study before you begin your 1 year program. So when to apply, we have 3 start dates per year, as I mentioned. So January, May, September. Right now we're accepting applications for January 2021. And we request that you apply 6 months before the start date of your program. So it takes some time for us to process the application. Sometimes the students are missing documents, and then you'll have to go through the study permit process as well. So very minimum, you could probably squeeze it in 3 months, but we suggest 6 months. So our tuition and application fee, this is probably one of the most affordable 1 year programs that you'll find in Canada, especially at a major institution. Our application fee is $300, and that is non-refundable. Our tuition is $13,740 for the 1 year program. How the payment structure works is everything needs to be paid up front. But everything is refundable if your study permit is refused. And we're also working on adjustments to our refund policy so that If your start date lapses, or if you're unable to start your program because you haven't heard back about your study permit, we would of course refund you that as well. So the $2,000 deposit it's non-refundable if it's not visa related. If it is visa related, it's totally refundable. So that's the end of my presentation. There are 2 testimonial videos that I'm going to play now for you to watch.
I think that my experience in the University of Manitoba was uncomparable. I think that it was one of the most rewarding challenges, great achievement in my life. I have so many memories. It's a good experience for sure. So I would recommend everybody to come here and study.
Hey, Melissa, can you please mute your microphone?
The University of Manitoba.
Thank you.
I think that the quality of the teachers and the staff members and also the curriculums are really important because they made me understand the skills that are transferable from my country to Canada, because you understand how important it is to grow as a professional. I did my internship in a retail company. The name is the Northwest Company. I'm currently working there as an operational analyst. All the subjects I think so was really important for my current position. I have a degree in government and international relations and also a postgraduate diploma in business management. And in addition, I recently graduated here from the University of Manitoba in applied business management.
Oh, your microphone, it's off.
There we go. I said I'm just going to start the second video now.
It was the perfect match for what I was looking for. The perfect way for you to understand the human resources area here in Canada. My name is Francisco Bastidas. I'm from Colombia. I recommend the Human Resources Management program. I have to say it was rewarding. Right now I'm working for New Directions as a Human Resources Administrator. Probably 85% of the things that I've been doing so far, I just learned in my program. The most important thing for me was to learn about the Canadian legal system. My wife, as we are both psychologists, and I have a daughter and a son. With my family, we've been thinking that this is so far the best decision that we could ever make. U of M is one of the most well-known universities here in Canada. I realized the importance to be involved in this academic community, student community. I think one of the most important moments or periods in my life.
Okay, thank you for watching.
Thanks, Melissa. Great job.
Thank
So anyway, thank you so much for all that information. So what I wanted to share with everybody is that we do have some PDF files that we will be sharing with you. So if you can please confirm if you can see them. The PDF file is named U of M Extended Education Programs. So in that file, you'll be able to find detailed information about each of the programs being offered. And I believe the costs are also included, correct, Melissa, in the PDFs?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Okay, perfect. So for those who are asking about the cost for each of the programs, so all the information will be there. And having said that, we could actually move on to the questions.
Okay.
Perfect.
So should I just read them off the chat function, or did you want to do that?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I will ask you the question.
Okay.
So some questions I may answer myself, and some other questions, if they're directed to you, then I'll just ask them, okay?
Okay.
So first question here, I have to filter the questions because some of them are not relevant to our topic. So,
okay.
So one question here is, and I'm going to broadcast it here. There you go. So that is the question. If the university has pathway, and how does it work?
Okay. So we have an English pathway program for extended education. So this is for you to come to Canada to learn English instead of writing your IELTS. So that is a 15-week program. It's $4,400, and you need to be at the level of approximately 5.5 or 6 academic IELTS in order to complete it in that time. So if you place lower, it might take longer, but we do issue a conditional letter of acceptance. If you're looking for a pathway program into undergraduate studies, that's not really my area, but there is a separate college that works with the university called International College of Manitoba, and they sort of work as a pathway into undergraduate. But I only work with extended education, so I can only really answer questions on what I spoke of in my presentation.
That's right. So I guess the question here is, if somebody doesn't have a, let's say, 5.5 or 6 on the IELTS, they will not be able to get a conditional offer, right?
That's right.
Okay, so there's an actual program through the University of Manitoba, the Intensive English Program. So you could potentially, let's say if you have a very basic knowledge of English, you may be able to start an English program. However, you will not be able to get the conditional offer. Okay? All right, so next question. We already talked about this. So the level of English, that's answered. Okay, so let's see if you can answer this question, Melissa. What are you looking for before accepting a student in Manitoba?
Well, into the University of Manitoba, we look at your, academically, we look at your transcripts, and we look at proof of graduation. So when you apply, some of the documentation that you'll need to submit will show the coursework that you studied and proof that you successfully completed it. Professionally, we're looking for a resume. So we want to see, what you've been up to in your business community, in your home country. We don't require a reference letter anymore because, we have no intention of phoning. But obviously the more business experience you have, the better prior to entering the program. And then an application form. So what we're looking for in students, though, not so much in the documentation, but upon arrival, is students who are going to take advantage of all of the networking events that we provide, students who are going to work really hard to integrate themselves in the business community. So we're going to provide you with those opportunities. We'll connect you with mentors, we'll connect you with businesses, with people who hire, and we need students who are motivated and driven to take advantage of those opportunities, because that's how you're going to find a great job.
That's right. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Somebody here is asking whether there are any kind of civil engineering programs. So
those programs are available at the University of Manitoba. So we have the biggest and only engineering faculty, degree level faculty at the University of Manitoba, that we do offer civil engineering. Like I said, I can't speak to those programs and their requirements, but if you go to the website, there's lots of information on the requirements there.
Okay, thank you. All right, second question.
Right. Okay. So I'll just read this question. With COVID-19, the key industries might have changed a little. What are your thoughts on, or maybe recommendations if we want to apply for a program next year? if you look at the business management program, that can be applied to several different fields. I mean, human resource managers have been busier than ever right now, trying to help people adapt to working from home, trying to reorganize industries or reorganize different departments to fulfill a different need. I don't think any of those industries are going anywhere. We are currently working on developing, if not entire programs, then modules or units to our currently existing programs to be able to help students or to be able to adapt to what a post-COVID-19 business community is going to look like. So it's definitely something that's on our radar. To date, we haven't seen anything entirely new emerge that hasn't been offered at the University of Manitoba, but we will be adjusting our programs, if not offering brand new programs. But I don't anticipate that the 3 programs that we offer right now are going anywhere. All of our students have been very successful. Jobs still exist in all 3 fields, and they will continue to.
That's right. So yeah, it's very early to say, how is that going to play out? Certainly, there's been a lot of people who have been laid off or who may have lost their jobs. So that would create some kind of competition in terms of the labor market. However, as Melissa mentioned, there is Manitoba has one of the lowest unemployment rates. So prior to COVID-19, it was at 5%. So we know that for sure. Winnipeg and Manitoba will recover, and there's businesses that are already reopening, and they have certainly some plans in place to make sure that they continue running their businesses. So the opportunities will still be there. There might be some changes in terms of some industries and some companies. However, overall, it's too early to decide. But certainly, I mean, the economy will continue on, right? So. All right, so let's move on to the next question. So this is a very easy question for you, Melissa.
Okay.
IELTS must be academic? Yes.
Yes. We used to accept general, so if you have any of our old brochures, it doesn't say academic. Now we require academic. We also accept a number of other tests. So if you've written the PTE or, like I said, Duolingo or any of the other major tests, we'll accept them. So they're actually all listed on the University of Manitoba English language website. So hold on, I'm going to look up this Duolingo question right here.
Okay, perfect. I know some universities are requiring 115 in each band. So I think that's the standard, but I'm not too sure if you guys have a higher score.
I'm not sure if we had a band requirement when I looked it up last, but
okay. That's fine. You can look it up and send me an email, and
okay.
we can send an email out.
Okay, it's 115. Yeah, the minimum test score is 115. It doesn't indicate the band scores. So it may be overall. University of Manitoba is one of the few universities that for the IELTS, we don't require band scores. So many universities will say 6.5 overall with a minimum of 6 in reading, writing, listening, speaking. We just say overall. That's going to change in about a year. So you're safe for about a year if you have a 5.5 in one of those areas. And then for the Duolingo, it's just 115 overall.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. There you go, Kevin. You got the answer. So 115. Okay, next question. How long is human resources management?
It's a 1-year program. So all of our programs are 12 full months in duration. There's a number of breaks in between, but with the certificate, the letter of accomplishment, and the internship, you'll be studying at the University of Manitoba for 1 full year.
Right. So yeah, it is 12 months. It's a 1-year program. So. All right. This question was not so much a question, I guess. It's about the cost. So the $13,740, that is the total cost for the 1-year program.
Yes.
Right?
The only thing that doesn't include is the application fee.
Okay. So, Giseli, el costo sí son los $13,740. más el costo de aplicación de los $300. O sea que eso es extra. Okay, los precios. Okay, Mariela, can we see prices? So if you go to the file, if you click on the file on the PDF file that we have shared, you'll be able to see the breakdown of the cost, and you can also see them on the website. All right. Okay. Next question here. Can we do both in the U of M English program and the postgrad program? Yes, we talk about that. So yes, if you have an IELTS of at least 5.5 or 6, you may be able to get a conditional offer.
But if you haven't written an IELTS and you know your English is very low, you're welcome to come begin studying at the English Language Center. And when you get close to the final level, you can get conditional offer at that time.
That's right. And then I have to make a comment here. So if you are a couple or a family and you'll be the principal applicant as a student, and you're hoping for your spouse to get an open work permit, this will not work. Okay, so unfortunately, English programs, if it's not a conditional offer, meaning English program plus academic program, most likely the open work permit application will be refused. So you just have to be aware of that. Next question is approximately a date known until which the Duolingo test is accepted.
The university's website says that they're accepting it for fall. We made the decision to accept it for winter term as well. So for January. So if you're applying to the January 2021 intake, we will accept the Duolingo test. After that, it's unknown. So if you have the opportunity right now to write an IELTS test, that is preferred. So if you've already written a Duolingo test and you want to come in January, don't worry about it. Don't write the IELTS. But if you were deciding which test to write right now, it's probably better to write the IELTS if you're able to do that online.
Right. So do we have any idea what will be the score? Let's say if somebody writes a Duolingo, because a lot of IELTS test centers are closed. So, unfortunately, it's not available. So if they do have the Duolingo with a score of like 100, do you know what is the actual cutoff for them to enter into the level 5 of the English program?
No, I'll find that out.
Sure. So
okay.
We will send an email out to everyone registered with that answer, just in case people are wondering.
Daniel, it'll probably be whatever the equivalency of a 5.5 is.
Okay, we'll have to take a look. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, question here in regards to getting credits. So I already have a bachelor in management. Can I validate my credits and apply to specialized programs such as finance or human resources?
If you were looking to study at a bachelor's degree level, it's likely you would be able to do that. So if you transferred into the University of Manitoba to study, maybe not exactly what you studied, but maybe you wanted to take, a communications or rhetoric program and you transferred in, then maybe some of your courses would be able to transfer over. You wouldn't know until you applied. For extended education programs, we unfortunately don't accept any transfer credits. It's a one-year package program. If we did accept your transfer credits, it would put you under full-time status, and then you wouldn't be eligible for your work permit. So the program is offered as a package, and all of the courses need to be completed. Unfortunately, even if that means that some of the information is repeated, it's all given with a Canadian context. So it will be different than what you've studied.
Right. Okay, perfect. Okay, next question. How many hours offers the pathway? So I guess they're referring to the level 5 English program. Do you know how many weeks is that and how many hours per week of instruction?
Yeah, so it's 15 weeks with a 1-week break. So it's 14 weeks of instruction. And I believe it is about 25 hours a week of instruction.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty average. So, yeah. All right, perfect. Okay, we talk about the IELTS. Sorry, I'm filtering the questions here. Yeah, we talk about the Duolingo. So we'll send an email out with the actual scores. Okay. This is Good question, I think. So what is the rate of employment of graduates?
So most of our graduates, like we don't have the percentage calculated because our graduates like move around quite a bit. So often they'll work for a few months in Manitoba, and then they'll go work in Ontario, and then maybe they go to BC or they come back to Manitoba. So we haven't been great at tracking where they go. I mean, upon graduation, within the first 3 months, the employment rate is really high. So we have very few students that after 3 months haven't found employment. And if they haven't, usually they're taking advantage of some of the resources at the university. But it's probably close to like a 90-95% employment rate. There's always some students who, decided they wanted to, return to their home country. And then, like I said, we don't really monitor those, but they sort of they don't work against you because they don't show up as having been employed. So we don't really calculate the employment rate that way. But most of our students who successfully pass the program have found successful jobs in their line of work in Winnipeg.
Okay, great. So this is a question directed to me in Spanish. So basically they're saying if they apply for a pathway and then later on they write a test and they get 6.5, can it, would the school do some kind of reconsideration? So how would that work?
Yeah. So if you applied to the English Language Center and then you wrote a test in the meantime and got a 6.5, of course you would not have to pay the remainder of your tuition. You could just begin studies on your start date with extended education. You would lose your $500 deposit with the English Language Center. So if you think you can score a 6.5, or if that's your goal, just maybe try writing the test a few times before you apply to the English Language Center, unless you're okay with losing that deposit.
Right. Okay, perfect. So, Fernando, si entendiste, perfecto, y si no, escribe un mensaje para traducirte lo que dijo Melissa. Okay. Let's see another question. Okay, so there you go. 1 year certificates offered by U of M allows PGWP for 1 year or 3 years.
It's 1 year. So if you complete a 2-year program, then it's 3 years. For the 1-year programs offered by University of Manitoba, it will give you a postgraduate work permit for 1 year. It's fairly easy to find work in Manitoba. I would say even with COVID right now, it's not as challenging as some of the other places in Canada. So before COVID, we would have businesses calling us asking for our graduates to apply or asking to come do a presentation. So 1 year, 1 year is enough. So it's 1 year to get a job offer. And then we have the provincial nominee program, which I'll let Daniel speak to. But it's sort of a halfway step between permanent residency and, if you were to study in British Columbia or in Ontario, well, you definitely need the 3 years because you don't have the provincial nominee program step in between. But in Manitoba, it's fairly safe to just allow yourself a 1 year work permit, and then you can transition into the other work permit.
Right. So what I tell my clients is it really depends on your profile. So if you're a single guy or maybe a young couple, you may be able to take the chance of studying 1 year program. If you're a family, of course, you have children, then it may be best to study a 2 year program. So either way, you can still do it. It really depends on you, how much confidence you have after finishing a program in finding a job. So in Manitoba, which is one of the easiest provinces to immigrate, requires you to have 6 months of work experience full-time and a job offer for also 1 more year. This has to be done through the same employer. And basically, depending on the type of occupation, whether it's a NOC 0, A, or B, you may be exempt from writing an English test. Here in Winnipeg, usually is the CELPIP. But most, I would say over 95% of our clients, after they finish their program of studies, they get their post-graduation work permits, and then obviously they find a job, they work 6 months, they get the job offer, and then they apply for nomination under the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program. So for those of you who want to learn more about that, you can tune into our YouTube channel, Great Start Canada, and you'll be able to see a video that I've done about the NPNP. So all the information will be there. And then later on, I'll talk more about our services and how we can help you. So another question here. At U of M, what is the date until the US are expecting to offer virtual or online classes?
Okay, we're offering remote classes for the fall 2020 term. So that's the only thing that we've really communicated. So like every industry right now, we can't really predict what's to come. Obviously, our goal is to return to face-to-face classes as soon as it's safe to do so. So this isn't something we're looking to offer long-term, but for September 2020, our classes are going to be done remotely and as sort of distance classes if you couldn't make it to Canada. But beyond that, we're not sure, but we're hoping to get back into the classroom and teach face-to-face classes as soon as it's safe to do so.
Perfect. Okay, next question. So you're in your last year of high school. Is there any program for a student that will start university next year? So no, not through extended education. So these programs are tailored to professionals and people who have work experience and have already a degree. So in your case, you may be eligible to start a bachelor's program, possibly at University 1 if you want U of M, or some other institution. But I don't think these programs would. I don't think you will qualify, obviously, for admission, right?
No, yeah, you need to have completed a post-secondary program.
Right, perfect. Okay, they're asking here about the costs, the breakdown. So if you go back to the PDFs, we're sharing that file, so you'll be able to see the cost there, okay. And they're also on the website. So.
I can quickly go through them.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Sure. If you can open up the file.
Okay.
Sure. Just go under files. And then I'm sharing it again.
Okay. It's just
you know what? You may have to. Okay. We're sharing the file.
Oh, are you sharing it?
Yeah, we're sharing it with everybody right now. So, but I don't think we can show it here on the screen unless you share your screen. If you want, you can open it on your computer and then just share your screen right at the top, next to the microphone. There's a turn screen share. You can click on it, and then everybody will be able to see your screen if you want to do that.
You know what? It's not working because my connection is lost, it says.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait,
that's fine.
Here we go. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, so do you want to open it, open the PDF on your screen and then just share your screen?
Okay.
Yeah. So to share your screen, on the top, you'll see a little computer monitor.
Yeah, it's working, but it's just trying to share any document that I have open right now. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have to be done right now.
Okay. You know what? Maybe I can just I'll just go over what the costs are, just because I don't want to share anything confidential on my screen. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to let everybody know, we're going to be emailing you as well the PDF, so you'll have that.
Okay, so the application fee for the program is 300 Canadian dollars. That needs to be paid at the time of application. So when you submit your documents, you pay the $300, and that is non-refundable. After that, you'll receive a letter of offer saying you meet all of our requirements and we would be happy to welcome you to the University of Manitoba, but we require that you pay a $2,000, 2,000 Canadian dollar tuition deposit to hold your seat in the classroom. So that at that point you would pay the $2,000. That comes off the total that you owe. So then we issue you a letter of admission. That's the legal document that you use to apply for your study permit. 1 month before the start date of the program, you would pay the remainder of your tuition. So it was $13,740. So minus the $2,000 that you've already paid, you would owe $11,740. So in total, the tuition is $13,740, all due before the start date of the program. But if your visa gets refused, we will refund $13,740. If you don't hear back from about your visa, there's deferral options. There's some refund options. So you're safe to apply.
Right. Okay. Excellent. All right, so let's keep going with the questions. So another question in regards to age. So that's a very popular question. So how many hours is per day? Sorry, I picked the wrong question.
Okay.
No, next question. So, but yeah, I mean, if you can answer this question, sorry. There you go. So how many hours per day and how many days per week?
Okay. So this will depend on your course load each term. So the 1 year is separated into term 1, term 2, term 3. And we schedule your classes for you. So most days you are not in class like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So it's usually similar to a university schedule where you will be, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe you're in class for an hour, and then in the morning, and then in the afternoon, you're in class for an hour. We try to organize it so that you either have mornings off or afternoons off. But it's not a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 program. So you do have sometimes full days off or large chunks of time during the day. This is a daytime program right now. So we require students have availability during the day and then they work their part-time jobs at night. We are working on an offering for evenings and weekends for students who would prefer to work their part-time jobs or do childcare during the day.
Okay, that's great for sure. That will help a lot. But most students do work part-time.
Yes.
Maybe not at the beginning of the program, but then once they have everything under control, then and they feel comfortable and they're doing well, then certainly there's an opportunity for them to find a job. So. Okay, next question. So this is the one I wanted to select. So Manitoba has a limited age to apply for a program, project management. So
for extended education programs, there is no limit to the age that you can apply. I'm not sure that there are any programs in Manitoba, maybe some, not really at the University of Manitoba. So we have students who sometimes study into their 60s. So for extended education, you're fine. Our average age, like I said, it's in the 30s. There's students, plenty of students, 35, 37, 40. There's a range in the age, but there's certainly no limit.
Okay, that's right. All right. Next question. So I already have a bachelor's degree in international business. I would like to start a 2-year postgrad programs, but on the website, I don't see supply chain or logistics. So I don't think there is a supply chain program, although maybe one of the programs may have some courses, right, related to that. But I'm not too sure.
Yeah, there's some similar, I think, courses in the two programs. We also only offer 1-year programs. So if you were looking for a 2-year postgrad program in that specific area, extended education doesn't offer that at this time. Right.
Okay. Perfect. So let's keep going. All right. Sorry, I'm just filtering the questions. Okay. Question about the pathway. The pathway offers a conditional registration. My spouse can work during that period.
Is that that's probably more of a question for you, Daniel, as it relates to
yeah. So if Fernando, if you have a conditional offer, meaning that you have been accepted into the English program and also one of the programs through extended education, then yes. And so meaning that you will be entering into level 5 of the English program. So that's called a conditional offer. So you will have 2 letters. You have the offer from the English program, and then you'll have the offer from the Division of Extended Education. So with that, then your spouse should be able to apply for a for an open work permit. Okay. Okay. And another question here. And I think you answered this. I think you answered this already. But how many months before the start of the program is recommended to apply to select a program?
6 months. So that allows you time for your study permit as well. So we'll probably hang on to your application for, 6 weeks at the absolute most.
Right.
And then it still allows you time for your study permit.
Right. Yeah, but for the most part, I think you guys are quite fast, right? So I've submitted applications, and within a couple of weeks, I get the offer. So
yeah.
So yeah, the process, as Melissa mentioned, it could take up to 6 weeks. However, it's not normal. Usually, it's faster. All right. Then. Okay. Now I'm going to answer some questions here in regards to the MPMP. Although it's not really, it's kind of off topic, but I'll still answer it really quick. Okay. So after the MPMP application, how long it takes to get an answer? Well, it depends. It is a long process, so it could take more than 1 year for sure. So first you do the expression of interest, then to get the actual invitation to apply, what's called the LAA, it could take about 2 to 3 months. Once you submit the full application, then it will take up to 6 months. So you're looking at potentially 9 months. And then once you get your certificate of nomination, then you have to apply for permanent residency to the federal government. So overall, in general, you're looking at probably about 16 to 18 months, if not 2 years. Right now, with the current pandemic, everything is much slower. So, but I cannot give you exact times, but that's just a very broad timeline. Next question here. Do you have a master's degree related only to computer engineering? So I believe so, yes. There's certainly a master's program through the University of Manitoba, but not through the extended education, which is where Melissa works. So it's a different department. Yes. All right. And one more question here. Sorry, Melissa, these questions are not related to programs. Does the UFM have 1 or 2 year dental related studies? There's certainly dental studies, but that's more of an actual bachelor's degree, correct, Melissa?
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
There's the dental, like the medicine stream, or there's dental hygiene, but it's a minimum 4-year program. In the province, though, I believe Red River College does have a shorter program for dental assisting. That's right.
Okay, perfect. So I believe we answered all the questions. So if you have any other questions, by all means, type them in. So now I wanted to talk about how we work. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we are a licensed immigration consultant company. We do the education side as well. So our job is to help you achieve your dreams of either studying or immigrating to Canada. So that's what we do. So if any of you have questions in regards to immigration or what we're talking about, and you want an actual let's say evaluation of your profile, then you can contact us and you could book a consultation with myself. So the consultation has a cost, so I'm going to share the link with you and with everybody really. So you could go to our website and you could take a look. So the website is www.greatstartcanada.com, and you'll be able to see the information there. So Also, I wanted to introduce Omar. Omar Galeano, it's our representative in Colombia. So he is in Bogota, and he can also help you out with any questions that you may have. So all his contact information is also on our website. So whether you are more comfortable talking to him, you can do that. If you want to talk to me as well, fine. We both speak Spanish. So either way, whatever you want to do, that's fine. So, but in order for us to work with you, you have to book this consultation because we need to really understand your profile. And then once we know what you want and really what you've done, you know, we need to see your level of English, we need to see your level of education, your level of work experience. So once we have your full profile, then we can certainly help you out to find a program that may be a good fit for you. So if it's U of M, great. If it's a different institution, we can certainly help you as well. So, but obviously today we're focusing on the programs at U of M. So, and that's why we have Melissa here. So if you have any other questions in regards to U of M extended education programs, now's your chance. Question here, Melissa, I'm an architect. May I apply for any program?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes. So we require that you have an undergraduate degree or a diploma at the minimum of 2 years in any subject area. So if you studied architecture and you wanted to study business management because you wanted to come to Canada and maybe you wanted to open up your own firm, or you wanted to do sort of more of an entrepreneurial side of architecture, then it would be a good fit. But if you wanted to apply for human resource management because you just wanted a new career, that's fine. Any degree, it doesn't need to be relevant.
That's right. Okay. One more question here. Let me just broadcast it. So for MPMP program, is there any benefit of having a friend? So in order for you to qualify for nomination under the MPMP, you're required to have a connection. So there's 3 ways you can have a connection. So you have studied in Manitoba, you have worked in Manitoba, or you have a friend or a relative, meaning a family member, who is a permanent resident and who has lived in Manitoba for at least 1 year. So it all depends. If your friend is a close friend and is a permanent resident, he could be the connection. So, but yeah, we'll have to evaluate your profile in detail to figure out. Okay. Another question. This is for you, Melissa. In terms of co-ops, are there any problems with co-op?
Yes. So with extended education, all 3 of our programs have an internship. In Canada, you might be confused with, what's a co-op or a work placement or an internship. They're all the same. So basically what it means is like unpaid work, or unpaid training, sort of like an apprenticeship. So the applied business management, applied human resource management, applied business analysis all come with a 175-hour unpaid internship or co-op. And that's, something that you will be working one-on-one with our internship coordinators to develop where you want to go. So we don't just send you to a company. You get to help decide where you would like to do your co-op or internship.
That's right. Okay, wonderful. All right, so I don't see any more questions. So I don't know if there's anything else that you want to mention, Melissa, before we wrap up.
No, just that we are updating our website regularly. So if you have, if you're nervous about how things are going to play out with your application, don't hesitate to contact Daniel, contact myself, or the department, or just check our website for updates. We're really positive in Manitoba that we're going to make a strong recovery from this. Enrollment has never been higher at the university right now, and the cases in Manitoba are quite low. So like I said, we're expecting, a positive sort of return to work, return to studies at some point in the near future. But thank you very much for attending.
Perfect. Thank you, Melissa, for your time. I think it went very well. So I don't see any other questions. And certainly, if you have any further questions down the road, then by all means you can email us, and we'll be able to help you out. And within 24 hours, you will also receive the recording of this webinar. So if there is a part that you missed, certainly you can watch it at home, and you can actually make comments. Even though it may be a replay or a recording, you can still write your questions, and that will come through us, and then we'll be able to answer your question. So one more question here. Let's see. I've made some research, and I found that some programs require high school grades instead of university grades. For those programs you already have named, which grades I should show? So the requirements for any of these three programs is that you have an undergrad degree, so meaning licenciatura or bachelor's. So you have to show your transcripts from university. Is that right, Melissa? Like, they don't need high school, right?
No. When we actually ask that you don't include your high school transcripts, because we're not always able to distinguish one from the other if it's in an institution in a different part of the world. So we don't need to see high school diplomas, high school grades, only post-secondary.
Okay, perfect. All right, so there you go. So Cesar, you have your answer. Okay. All right. So I believe that is it. Okay, I'm just doing a final check just to make sure. All right. So one more question just came up here. So 1 year of PGWP is enough for 16-month MPMP. Do I need to come back to my country? No, you don't have to go back to your country. You can certainly do an extension. So you have to do a work permit extension. There's different ways of doing it depending on what stage of the process you're in. So, but yeah, certainly I can help you with that. Just book a consultation, and I'll be able to explain to you the whole process, evaluate your profile, and then figure out what will be the best way for you to reach your plans of immigration. All right. That is it. Okay, Melissa, I don't see you anymore, but I know you've been having some issues with your connection.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
But that's
hopefully everyone got to see me for at least part of the presentation.
That's right. Yeah. So just a quick reminder. So we'll be sending out the PDF file, so you'll be able to have the information there. And if you have any questions, you can contact myself. You can contact Omar in Colombia via email or WhatsApp as well. So check our website, www.greatstarcanada.com. And we also invite you to follow us on our social media channels. So we are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. There's a lot of videos that I've done and about our different webinars that we've been doing with other schools as well. Next week, we're doing a webinar with MITT as well. So anyway, so if you like these webinars and they seem valuable to you, then by all means, make sure you register and sign up. And we'll definitely have Melissa again in a few months again, so that she'll be able to share the same information with us and new potentials. So I believe that is it. So thanks, Melissa, for your time.
Gracias.
Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And we'll stay in touch.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. All right. Muy bien, bueno, ya podemos hablar en español. Espero que todos hayan podido disfrutar del webinar. Si tienen alguna duda o pregunta, ya que no está aquí Melissa, les puedo contestar en español con mucho gusto. Espero que todo haya sido muy claro para ustedes. Y bueno, voy a estar aquí todavía. Tenemos tiempo, son las 7:04 de la tarde. Así que tengo programado hasta aquí hasta las 7:30. Así que si tienen alguna duda o pregunta de forma general, con mucho gusto, me pueden aquí mandar la pregunta. Y repito, ¿no? Toda la información está en nuestra página web. Estamos trabajando en una nueva página web también que va a estar disponible muy pronto. Pero ahorita el enfoque de este día definitivamente fue el presentar los programas de la educación, el Departamento de Educación Continua en la Universidad de Manitoba. Entonces, y bueno, Estos programas son muy populares. Tenemos muchos clientes de diferentes partes de Latinoamérica, sobre todo de Colombia, de México, de Ecuador, de Chile, de Perú. Hay mucha gente que está estudiando esos programas y como bien sabemos, están enfocados a profesionistas. Entonces, esto es gente que ya tiene experiencia laboral, que tiene ya una licenciatura completada y sobre todo que tiene un buen nivel de inglés, ¿no? Entonces, la parte de la oferta condicional es muy importante. Si ustedes aún no tienen el 6.5 y se quedan en un 5.5 o un 1.6, posiblemente se pueda lograr la oferta condicional. Entonces, repito, para la gente que tiene algún pareja, un cónyuge, la única forma en que el cónyuge pueda conseguir un permiso de trabajo abierto es por medio de una oferta condicional. Entonces, vamos a ver aquí, ¿qué tenemos? Ángela nos pregunta, consulta, aparte de los 3 programas que mencionó, ¿hay programas para ingenierías como ingeniería industrial? No, solamente están los 3 programas que hablamos hoy, que es Applied Business Management, el ABM, está el Applied Business Analysis, ABI, y tenemos el Applied HR Management. Son 3 programas nada más. Sin embargo, ya dentro de la programación académica de la universidad en general, los programas son licenciaturas, que son programas de 3 hasta 7, 8 años en el caso de medicina. Entonces, en este caso, la parte de la ingeniería industrial sería una licenciatura. Entonces, si estudias una licenciatura, definitivamente no te conviene venir aquí a estudiar lo mismo. Entonces, la mayoría de los casos, como el tuyo, que ya eres profesionista, te conviene estudiar un programa de posgrado. Entonces, si no es, en este caso, la Universidad de Manitoba, está también el MITT, que es el colegio Manitoba Institute of Tourism Technology. De hecho, yo trabajé ahí. Y vamos a tenerlos la siguiente semana. Así que para los que estén interesados en conocer sobre los programas de posgrado del MITT, les invito a que se registren. Tienen más programas, son como 6 programas, si no me recuerdo, de postgraduation. Entonces, eso podrá funcionar a algunos de ustedes. Y si no, también trabajamos con la Universidad de Winnipeg. En fin, trabajamos con todos los colegios aquí en Winnipeg. Entonces, incluso también, si uno de ustedes está interesado en estudiar en alguna otra provincia, ya sea en Toronto, ya sea en Vancouver, en, no sé, Kelowna, Saskatchewan, no sé, Nueva Escocia, Halifax, en fin, también tenemos convenios con la mayoría de los institutos y universidades en todo Canadá. Entonces, les dejo esta información. Gracias aquí por los comentarios. Qué bueno que les ha gustado este tipo de webinars. Creo que es nuestro lema aquí es el brindar la información de forma transparente y honesta, y es lo que siempre hacemos. Entonces, qué mejor que puedan ustedes escucharlo directamente de las personas que trabajan en las universidades y colegios, ¿no? Entonces, pero sí, definitivamente nuestro trabajo es eso, el brindar todo el acompañamiento de principio a fin. Entonces, vamos a ver. Aquí algunas preguntas que tenemos. Jimena pregunta, me iría con mi familia, marido y 2 hijas. ¿Él podrá trabajar full time y las nenas ir al colegio? Potencialmente sí, tengo que conocer tu caso. No sé, hay que ver qué programa vas a estudiar. Tiene que ser un programa académico de mínimo 8 meses o el equivalente a 1 año. Tiene que ser en un colegio público que esté designado. Posiblemente sí, tu marido podría obtener un permiso de trabajo abierto, ¿no? Entonces tenemos que ver qué nivel de inglés tienes, si calificas para lo que se llama una entrada directa, un direct entry, o si tienes que aplicar para una oferta condicional. Entonces, como vieron, las ofertas condicionales en la Universidad de Manitoba están limitadas solamente a las personas que ya tienen un nivel de inglés intermedio avanzado. O sea, que nada más les falta un nivel de inglés. Pero si su nivel de inglés es muy básico, definitivamente la Universidad de Manitoba no sería una buena opción. Entonces, yo les recomendaría posiblemente el Red River College o la Universidad de Winnipeg. Entonces, pero bueno, sin conocer los perfiles a detalle, no les puedo realmente contestar de forma definida, ¿no? Otra pregunta aquí, los transcripts de la universidad tienen que ser revalidados en Canadá. No tienen que ser revalidados, tienen que ser traducidos por un traductor certificado. Eso es lo que piden las universidades y colegios para poder procesar sus aplicaciones. Y también trabajamos con traductores, entonces en el caso de que contraten nuestros servicios, nosotros les damos cotizaciones especiales, ya que tenemos una rama de traductores que nos dan muy buenos precios. Ok. Giseli, puedes contactarme si gustas, envíame un correo electrónico para ver cómo podemos ayudarte con lo de tu posible cambio de colegio. Mariela nos pregunta aquí, ¿y cuál de todos esos colegios tiene una opción en negocios que sea más económica? Bueno, como Melissa comentó, el más económico son los de ellos, de la Universidad de Manitoba. No hay ningún otro programa en aproximadamente los $14,000. Los programas en MITT, en Red River College y en UFW están aproximadamente en unos $18,000. Entonces, en cuanto a costos, la Universidad de Manitoba es el más económico. Ok. El webinar de MITT no va a ser en inglés también, porque Mekala, que también es la coordinadora de reclutamiento internacional, ella es de Sri Lanka, entonces tampoco habla español, entonces va a ser el mismo formato, vamos a hacerlo en inglés y las preguntas para algunos de ustedes que quizá no tengan un buen nivel de inglés, pueden preguntar en español y yo les traduzco. Entonces, así es. Una pregunta aquí. Ángela nos pregunta, ¿por qué vamos aquí a hacer el broadcast? ¿Por qué medio nos estaremos, creo que informando? Te faltó una palabrita ahí, de los próximos programas de otras universidades para hacer posgrado. Bueno, puedes ver nuestros canales de YouTube. Todos los webinars que hemos hecho están ahí. Y en este caso, pues síguenos en nuestras redes sociales, ¿no? Sobre todo en Facebook, en Instagram y en YouTube. Vas a poder ahí recibir nuestras notificaciones cada vez que estemos en vivo. Yo tengo un canal donde hago, se llama Mi Proyecto Migratorio a Canadá, y cada martes a las 6 de la tarde hablamos sobre diferentes temas. Entonces, si te interesa, pues puedes seguirme. Perfecto. Bueno, gracias a todos los comentarios aquí de Jimena, Leonardo, en fin, aquí se ve todo. Muchas gracias por sus comentarios. Qué bueno que les ha gustado la información. Esa es la idea. Así que vamos a continuar aquí. Todavía tengo unos 15 minutos más, así que voy a tratar de contestar a todas sus dudas y preguntas. Ok, aquí Leonel nos pregunta, una pregunta medio larga, referente a lo del COVID-19. O sea que, sí, o sea, todo va a depender del programa. Entonces, si el programa, digamos que tu esposa ya fue, tu novia ya fue aceptada a una maestría o cualquier tipo de programa, si por la pandemia el formato se cambió de presencial a ser un programa en línea, no te afecte nada, vas a poder iniciar el programa desde casa, de donde estés, y una vez que las fronteras se reabran, y tengas ya tu permiso de estudios, entonces vas a poder reincorporarte ya al programa, definitivamente. Entonces, cada colegio es diferente. Pero aquí, la Universidad de Manitoba, la convocatoria que viene ahorita, que es para agosto-septiembre del 2020, ya dijeron que va a ser en línea. Entonces, pero para la gente que va a aplicar para la siguiente convocatoria, que es para enero 2021, estamos esperando que sí sea presencial. O sea, estamos esperando que de aquí hasta el final del año se compongan las cosas, que la pandemia posiblemente digamos que termine, y que la vacuna también ya está por venir. Incluso Winnipeg posiblemente cree esta vacuna. Entonces, hablé un poquito de eso ayer. Así que bueno, todo está al aire, no sabemos, pero definitivamente si el programa cambia a ser de presencial a en línea por la pandemia, no les va a afectar en nada en cuanto quieran aplicar ustedes para el permiso de posgraduación, lo que es el PGWP. ¿Ok? Aquí una pregunta interesante sobre los programas de estudios en Ontario. Mi recomendación siempre es, al momento en lugar de escoger algún programa de estudios, inicialmente tienes que primero ver si calificas o si vas a calificar para algún programa de nominación provincial. Entonces, si piensas aplicar bajo lo que se llama el OIMP, que es el Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, que es el programa de nominación provincial de Ontario, mi recomendación es que primero te informes, que veas los requisitos y en base a eso escoges el programa de estudios. Entonces no lo hagan al revés, de primero escoger el programa y después ver si califican. O sea, eso está mal hecho. Tienen que hacerlo al revés. Entonces, si piensan en Ontario, vean el OIMP, está la página web, la información es toda pública, infórmense muy bien, vean los requisitos, si quieren cumplir con todo, entonces determinen qué programa. Entonces, normalmente en Ontario te piden que si el programa es a nivel postsecundario, se requiere que sea de 2 años. Si es un programa a nivel posgrado o maestría, puede ser de 1 año. Entonces, aquí en Manitoba es mucho más flexible. Aquí puede ser de 1 año, aparte que nada más te piden 6 meses de experiencia laboral para poder después calificar. En Ontario es 1 año de experiencia laboral. Entonces, de todas las provincias, Manitoba es una de las más fáciles. Y por eso tanta gente viene a Manitoba. Una pregunta aquí relacionada a la documentación. Para la aplicación de la residencia, ¿hay que tener la validación de los títulos? Mis hijos deben validar los estudios por estudiar en el high school. De preferencia, sí. O sea, aquí la validación no es una validación en sí, es simplemente una traducción de los documentos. Siempre, para cualquier tipo de proceso de admisión a algún colegio o universidad, te van a pedir 2 documentos, que es el récord de notas o el CARDEX, y el certificado o diploma. Si es un diploma de bachillerato, si terminan nada más el high school, en Colombia el grado 11, o si tienen licenciatura, pues sería igual. El récord de notas, donde diga semestre 1, semestre 2, semestre 3, con los cursos, las calificaciones, y el diploma final, donde diga que son licenciados en ingeniería o que son abogados o lo que sea. Entonces, siempre van a pedir esos 2 documentos y tienen que ser traducidos por un traductor certificado. Muy importante. No hay becas, desafortunadamente no hay becas para estudiantes internacionales. Entonces, cualquier tipo de programa, todos tienen costos. No es nada gratis. Pero sí, si gustas, puedes contactarnos. Tenemos que conocer tu perfil y en base a eso poder ver opciones de estudios, ya sea aquí en Winnipeg o en alguna otra provincia. ¿Ok? Perfecto, Daniel. Aquí nos dice Daniel que sigamos con los webinars en inglés. Así que bueno, normalmente los hacemos en español. Cuando yo presento solo, lo hago en español siempre, pero cuando tenemos invitados, sobre todo los reclutadores internacionales de diferentes colegios y universidades, algunos hablan español, otros no. Entonces, así es como ha funcionado. Y esta vez va a ser en inglés, MIT también va a ser en inglés la siguiente semana. Entonces, todo depende del colegio. Pero qué bueno que les ha servido para poder practicar su inglés un poquito. Una pregunta aquí. Mariela dice que si ya expuse. Sí, ya hay un video del MPMP donde explico a detalle los pasos de la nominación provincial de Manitoba. Entonces, eso está en el canal de YouTube. Así que suscríbanse a mi canal, YouTube. Pónganle Great Start Canadá y ahí van a ver los videos. ¿Qué otro tenemos aquí? Otra pregunta. Fernando dice, ¿cuál es la universidad más reconocida en business en Winnipeg? UFM, UFW, RRC o MITT. Bueno, universidades solamente son 2, que es la Universidad de Manitoba y la Universidad de Winnipeg. El Red River y el MITT son colegios. Entonces, en cuanto a universidades, la universidad más antigua y más grande es UFM, que es la Universidad de Manitoba, definitivamente. La Universidad de Winnipeg también. O sea que los programas que ofrecen son un poquito diferentes. La Universidad de Winnipeg es mucho más pequeña y son digamos que el tamaño de las clases es mucho más pequeño y yo siento que la atención es un poco más personalizada. Sin embargo, la Universidad de Winnipeg está ubicada en el centro de Winnipeg, son varios edificios, no está bajo un campus, digamos, como la Universidad de Manitoba. Entonces, todo depende de qué tipo de programa quieras buscar, ¿no? También la Universidad de Winnipeg también tiene programas muy interesantes a nivel posgrado. Incluso muchos profesionistas también toman programas. Hay en recursos humanos, hay en business management, hay en marketing, hay en project management, en fin. Entonces, también hicimos un webinar. Creo que está en YouTube seguramente. Entonces, chéquenlo también, vean el replay y van a poder ahí también, si tienen alguna pregunta o duda, también pueden escribir un correo electrónico y les puedo ayudar, ¿no? Estamos. Ok, listo. Entonces, en cuanto a prestigio, honestamente, depende del programa. Aquí digamos, la oferta académica tiene un gran prestigio en todos lados. O sea, aquí los empleadores, no es como Latinoamérica, que si sales de una universidad privada es mejor que la pública, o que cierta universidad, como pagas más, tiene mejor prestigio, entonces los empleadores te ven mejor. Aquí no, aquí es muy diferente. Aquí lo que le importa al empleador es que tengas la capacidad de poder realizar las funciones que vas a hacer, ¿no? Y sobre todo una buena actitud. Entonces, hay personas que han ido al college, Red River College. Yo fui a Red River College también, y es un colegio excelente. Yo trabajé en MIT, yo estudié también en la Universidad de Manitoba, y estoy estudiando también en Manitoba todavía. Entonces, también he tomado cursos en la Universidad de Winnipeg. Entonces, conozco todas las universidades y los colegios, y todas son muy buenas. Entonces, el prestigio en general es bueno. Entonces, no hay una que sea mejor o una que sea peor. Al final de cuentas, todo va a depender del tipo de programa. Todos son públicos, todos están reconocidos, tanto a nivel nacional, local y también internacional, ¿no? Entonces, cualquier nivel educativo, certificación que tú consigas en Canadá, te va a abrir puertas en cualquier parte del mundo. Entonces, es muy importante. Entonces, no se dejen mucho llevar por el prestigio, porque el prestigio aquí no es nada. Aquí el empleador no le importa si fuiste yo o UW. O sea, si tienes la licenciatura y es requisito para ese empleo, de donde hayas venido, no importa. Entonces, pero aquí la idea es que si ustedes ya son profesionistas y ya tienen licenciatura, no les conviene venir aquí a hacer otra licenciatura de unos 3 o 4 años. ¿Para qué? No tiene sentido. Entonces, aquí la idea es que estudien un programa de posgrado de 1 o 2 años como máximo. Y eso les va a abrir puerta para poder aplicar para la nominación provincial y después la residencia permanente. ¿Okay? El canal de YouTube, métanse a YouTube y en la barra de buscador pongan ahí Greystar Canadá y ahí va a salir. El CV debe estar traducido. Sí, claro. Algunos programas te piden tu currículum vitae o resume. Asegúrense que esté en formato canadiense, que esa información la pueden conseguir en Google, en cualquier parte. Y sí, traduzcan. O sea que lo que me refiero es que el formato canadiense es muy diferente al formato latino. O sea, aquí a las universidades, incluso ya cuando uno está buscando empleo, al empleador, por la privacidad que es muy importante. Entonces, no quieren ver tu foto, no quieren ver si estás casada, divorciada o viuda, no les importa si tienes un hijo o tienes 3. Entonces, todo eso no importa si eres cristiano, católico o ateo tampoco. Entonces, todo eso quítenlo de sus resumes porque eso no es necesario. Entonces, sí es importante que tengan el resume en inglés definitivamente. O sea, es un requisito. Entonces, la Universidad de Manitoba te pide copia de tu resume. Entonces, el CV tiene que estar, lógicamente, y toda la documentación en sí tiene que estar en inglés. Entonces, si lo ves en español, no te van a procesar. Te van a decir que no pueden leerlo y que tienes que enviarlo en español, en inglés. Entonces, Omar pregunta aquí, ¿cuál es el proceso para tu asesoría? ¿Hay una primera sesión de exploración? Correcto, sí. Todo empieza con la consulta inicial. Esta consulta inicial tiene un costo de $150. Es 1 hora. Es directamente conmigo. La manejamos por videollamada, ya sea por Zoom, por Google Meet, por Skype, WhatsApp, en fin, por lo que ustedes quieran. Entonces, todo eso está en la página web, en nuestra página web. Les voy a compartir aquí de nuevo el link para que ustedes lo vean. Les va a llevar directamente a la página de la consulta. Ahí está toda la información. Initial consultation. Ok, creo que está. Y bueno, definitivamente cualquier duda o pregunta sobre la consulta me pueden enviar un correo electrónico, pero todo está ahí. greystacanal.com/es. O sea, la página va a estar en español. Initial consultation. Ahí está. Siguiente pregunta. Ya son 7:24. Ok, estamos bien de tiempo todavía. Pregunta aquí, ¿hasta qué fecha podemos aplicar para un programa que inicie en enero o mayo 2021? Bueno, ahorita ya estamos procesando aplicaciones, tenemos muchos clientes que están aplicando para enero 2021. Ya sea la Universidad de Manitoba, ya sea la Universidad de Winnipeg, Red River, en fin. Entonces, de preferencia, hay que aplicar mínimo 6 meses con anticipación. Si se esperan mucho, al momento en que si ustedes quieran aplicar ya para agosto, digamos, aplicar en agosto para enero, lo más seguro es que los programas ya estén cerrados. Entonces, los cupos son muy limitados. Entonces, aquí la idea es que si ustedes ya están listos para aplicar algún programa, que lo hagan ahorita para enero 2021. Entonces, no se esperen mucho porque pasa que si se les pasa la fecha de convocatoria, entonces tienen que esperarse a la siguiente, que será para abril-mayo. Y también hay que ver que no todos los programas se ofrecen en las 3 fechas de entradas, ¿no? Que es enero, mayo y agosto de cada año, normalmente. Entonces, hay programas que tienen lo que se llaman 2 intakes o 2 fechas de entrada. Hay programas que tienen 3. Entonces, va a depender mucho de la institución y del programa. Los programas de UABM, por ejemplo, que lo acordó Melissa hoy, tienen 2 entradas, que es enero y mayo. Perdón, y septiembre también, creo que tienen 3, sí. Entonces, pero otros programas en Red River, otros programas en UFW, nada más tienen 1 al año o 2. Entonces, es muy importante crear un plan de estudios en el que todo esté muy alineado, sobre todo las fechas, porque también no hay que olvidarse de la ley de inmigración, que solamente permite 150 días de gap de tiempos entre el programa de inglés y el programa académico. ¿Okay? Entonces, definitivamente buscan asesoría profesional en donde quiera que estén. Muy importante que sea una persona certificada, sobre todo en la parte migratoria. Y si gustan contactarnos, con mucho gusto, ya tienen todos nuestros datos en nuestros contactos. Continúen siguiéndonos si creen que esta información es de valor y con mucho gusto vamos a poderles brindar la asesoría. Pregunta aquí, Sandra, ¿cuándo eres aceptado en un programa académico, la salud sigue siendo cubierta por la provincia? Al momento que tú apliques para cualquier programa, de forma mandatoria, te van a cobrar el seguro médico para estudiantes internacionales, que está como entre unos $850,000. Cada colegio lo cobra un poquito diferente, pero está entre eso. Y eso es individual, solamente para ti, por ser el aplicante principal. Pero si vienes con tu cónyuge, con tu pareja, esposo, esposa, o pareja de unión libre, lo que sea, si esta persona obtiene un permiso de trabajo abierto con una validez de mínimo 12 meses, puede entonces aplicar o ser elegible para la cobertura médica gratuita por el sistema de salud provincial de aquí de Manitoba, ¿no? Que técnicamente tendrá la misma cobertura que yo tengo como canadiense. Entonces, y ahí sí cubriría toda la familia. Sería el estudiante, que bueno, será doble cobertura porque, digo, ya está cubierto el aplicante principal. Serías tú como trabajador y los hijos que tengas. Entonces, y eso cubre cualquier tipo de emergencia médica, operaciones y todo. Entonces, es definitivamente algo importante, ¿no? Que hay que mencionar. La parte de la salud se maneja de forma provincial. Entonces, cada provincia tiene sus regulaciones. Pero en Manitoba es eso. Otra pregunta aquí, Mariela nos dice, ¿a partir de qué edad es gratuita la escuela para los niños? A partir de los 6 años. Normalmente, y en algunos lados, ofrecen el kinder, que es nada más mediodía, son 3 horas, a partir de los 5 años. Pero realmente la educación formal empieza a los 6 años, que es la educación básica o primaria, que es el grado 1, y va hasta el grado 12, que es el high school o el bachillerato. En Colombia llegan al grado 11, pero en México y en muchos otros países es hasta el grado 12. Entonces, aquí en Canadá la educación es gratuita desde el primero de primaria hasta el grado 12. Entonces, si tienen hijos y están pagando ahorita un colegio privado, definitivamente es una buena opción que esos fondos económicos los apliquen para un programa de ustedes para poder estudiar aquí en Canadá, mientras que sus hijos no tendrán que pagar nada y podrán ellos estudiar de forma gratuita. Así que bueno, creo que ya terminamos, así que ya son casi las 7:30. Creo que contesté todo. No veo aquí ninguna otra pregunta. Los costos, Mariela, los costos de preescolar, si tiene 4, tienes que pagar un daycare. Los daycares, dependiendo la edad y dependiendo muchos otros factores, pero te puede costar entre $600 hasta $1,000 al mes. Entonces, todo va a depender. ¿Ok? Ya, salieron aquí más preguntas. Leonel nos pregunta aquí sobre el TLC, bueno, lo que es el USMCA now, el former NAFTA. TLC de Colombia, Canadá, Alianza Pacífico Norte, ¿nos beneficia de algún modo? Sí, Canadá tiene un FTA, un agreement con Colombia. Eso aplica para profesionistas y tecnólogos. Entonces, en el caso de que ustedes obtengan una oferta laboral por parte de un empleador canadiense, hay una lista de ocupaciones. De hecho, también hice un video sobre eso. Entonces, también lo pueden ver. Posiblemente está en Facebook. Entonces, tendrán que ver ahí la cartelera de videos que he hecho. Pero hice uno sobre los tratados de libre comercio que tiene Canadá con varios países, incluido México, Chile, Colombia, Perú y creo que en Panamá, no recuerdo. Pero sí, definitivamente puede ser una opción. Aquí la parte difícil es definitivamente encontrar el empleador estando fuera de Canadá que te dé una oferta en una de las ocupaciones que están en esta lista. Y uno también como candidato tiene que probar que uno tiene la experiencia laboral y la educación para poder realizar esa función. Entonces, digamos que eres técnico electricista en Colombia, entonces la oferta de aquí tiene que ser como técnico electricista. Y bueno, creo que es un mal ejemplo porque la parte de electricidad aquí está regulada, entonces podría ser en otra área, pero sí, definitivamente hay opción. No es sencillo encontrar las ofertas laborales estando fuera de Canadá. Está el Job Bank, donde pueden ustedes buscar oportunidades laborales y aplicar directamente, y si algún empleador les interesa su perfil, posiblemente puedan ponerse en comunicación con ustedes. Pero sí, es muy importante que también tengan un buen nivel de inglés, ¿no? Y sobre todo el resume en formato canadiense y en inglés, obviamente. Ángela nos pregunta aquí sobre la parte de application process. Dice que tienen que ser notarizadas. No tienen que ser notarizadas. Tienen que ser un documento emitido por tu colegio o universidad y tiene que ser una traducción certificada. Entonces, normalmente, al momento de traducir con la traducción certificada, o sea, que el traductor tenga un número de registro, que tenga un sello y todo, que sea un traductor formal y bien, entonces con eso es suficiente. Yo no he tenido ningún problema en enviar las aplicaciones de mis clientes. Ok. Con mucho gusto, Leonel. Sandra, otra pregunta por aquí. Nos dice, si eres estudiante, ¿puedes acceder a algún otro beneficio diferente a salud? No, normalmente no. Me refiero, creo que beneficios económicos es lo que estás buscando. Después de 18 meses de vivir en Manitoba, podrías aplicar para lo que es el Child Tax Benefit, que es una cantidad que te da el gobierno a nivel, digamos, mensual, y va a depender de tu income anual. Entonces, pero realmente cuando eres un residente temporal no tienes muchos beneficios realmente. Entonces, es eso. Ok, ya nos vamos, es un 7:32, así que ya es tiempo de ir a casa y descansar. Así que los dejo. Aquí un último comentario aquí de Kevin, porque Kevin lo conocí en Colombia. Entonces, vamos a ver aquí qué nos dice. Kevin, envíame un texto y platicamos, ¿ok? A un correo electrónico. Perfecto, bueno, pues muchísimas gracias, ya vamos a cerrar, ya son más de las 7:30, así que ya es tiempo de descansar. He estado aquí en la oficina todo el día y tengo un montón de cosas que hacer, así que tienen toda la información, pueden contactarme directamente, en la página web está el contacto también de Omar Galeano, que está en Colombia, también pueden mandarle un WhatsApp, las consultas iniciales son directamente conmigo, y una vez que tengamos la consulta inicial, entonces les puedo crear un plan de estudios, podemos platicar, conversar ya a detalle, y ya conociendo yo el perfil, puedo ayudarles con la parte educativa y la parte migratoria de principio a fin. ¿Okay? Ya que estén por acá, también les ayudamos con extensiones, con la nominación provincial, con la aplicación para la residencia permanente y también, lógicamente, para, una vez que sean elegibles, después de 3 años, aplicar para la ciudadanía canadiense. Entonces, ese es todo el proceso en forma muy resumida, pero sí, definitivamente hay muchos pasos que hay que hacer. La inmigración no es tan sencillo como se ve, entonces es importante que estén muy informados, así que busquen algún consultor de inmigración de su confianza. Si creen que sea esa persona que pueda ser yo, adelante, me pueden contactar, y si no, no hay ningún problema. Y bueno, vamos a seguir continuando dándoles información verídica de fuentes fidedignas y sobre todo siempre trabajando con mucha honestidad y mucha transparencia, ¿no? Que es lo que nuestro compromiso realmente, ¿no? Con todos ustedes. Entonces, eso es todo por hoy. Ahora sí me despido. Si estás estudiando un curso de inglés, ¿puedes trabajar? No, no puedes trabajar. Si estás tomando algún curso de inglés. De nada, Fernando. Saludos a todos. Mariela también. Muchas gracias. Perfecto. Así que, bueno, ahí nos pueden seguir por todos nuestros canales y bueno, una vez que estén listos para la consulta, con mucho gusto aquí estaré esperándonos. Que tengan una excelente tarde. Cuídense mucho. Gracias. Chao.